start off by telling us a little bit about where you grew up and everything?
So I grew up in Leamington, Ontario. It's the most southern point of Canada. South of Detroit.
Wow.
Yeah. So my whole family's from there. It's a small town, and it's I grew up on until I was 5 we had like a few acres of land with farmland and fruit stands.
Oh, wow.
Fruit and vegetable stands. It was my grandparents ran. My father's a musician. My mother's an artist. She does a bunch of different things and writes and paints. And
cool.
She was also a teacher when I was young. So parents were doing like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said your dad was a musician?
Yeah. Singer, songwriter, like rock and roll musician.
Really?
Yeah, from the area. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So that's obviously where you kind of picked up playing
yeah,
music.
Exactly. yeah. It's definitely in the family already.
Wow. Do you remember did you go to your dad's gigs and stuff when you were young?
Yeah, all the time. Like my earliest memory, he was playing in Kingsville, Ontario. It was like the town over.
Uh-huh.
And he was playing at the school's like concert hall. And I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
It's called Migration Hall. And I think my uncle threw me on stage, like just at his feet. I was like just a kid, and I didn't even get up. I just kind of sat on my butt at his feet, and I was so scared and nervous. But yeah, that was like the one I can actually remember. Like I remember that feeling. But used to go see him play all the time.
Wow.
Was your uncle in the band too, or he was just watching?
No, he was just like the number one supporter.
Oh, that's cool. So your dad, he played around the area, or did he tour and stuff too?
Yeah, he's toured all over the States, and he still plays regularly.
Wow,
quite a bit. It's the only thing he's ever done. He's still doing it, still making music. He's got like 6 or 7. The 7th one's coming. Original albums of music.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. So, like, when you were little, did you, like, sneak into his, room that he had his instruments and play?
That was the thing. There wasn't a room that didn't have instruments. It was
wow.
The house was kind of covered in them. Still is. There's there was no way hiding from it.
So you were able to touch them?
Yeah, just like pick them up and play and drop them a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, house always had guitars, pianos, everything.
When did you first start learning to play music?
I remember bringing a guitar in for show and tell in school, but I didn't know how to play it.
You just brought
just
it
wanted
in.
to look cool.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
I don't know. That was in the 6th grade or something like that.
Okay.
And after I brought it in, I was like, I should probably learn how to play it. And then, maybe I was 14 years old when I started to
really,
try and
dive
then
into it.
I feel like I change that answer anytime if someone asks me. I remember a different time when I.
Were you in band in like elementary school?
Yeah, we had like a music program in the elementary school, and then in high school I definitely had we have like music class and stuff like that. So we could like spend an hour and a half each day playing, which is good. Yeah,
that's awesome. So when you first started learning to play, was your dad teaching you how to play guitar, or did you just kind of pick it up yourself?
I kind of picked it up myself, and I was on YouTube, and he'd come home after a show or something, or he'd be out playing some gigs and come back, and I'd be showing him like a White Stripes song or something. He's like, "That's really cool."
Oh, awesome!
Or like a very, not correct way of playing whatever the song was.
Yeah.
But it was like slow and eventually progressed into me taking it more seriously and starting to play out live and to a lot of the same bars and clubs that he was playing. And before I knew it,
open for him? Or?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. Absolutely. Still do.
That's
really?
So cool.
Whenever I go home, yeah. Last end of November, this past November, I opened his like CD release party. He did for his new album, which was titled Weigel Street, 9 Weigel Street, which is the house he grew up in, my grandparents' house. and he did 3 shows at the theater in our hometown. So I went and played, 20 minutes before him each night, and all his songs. I just played his songs and told stories.
Oh, wow.
It was very fun. It was like a big family affair.
That's really,
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah.
Have you helped write with your dad, or is he vice
Yeah,
versa?
we work on stuff together too, and he's definitely obviously influenced me and helped me a whole bunch with mine, and I've gotten to help and write songs with him for his records, so it's cool.
That is that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
Did you put your stuff up on YouTube at all? Like film yourself and?
When I was
When you were younger?
yeah. I hope it's gone. I hope someone's pulled it down. I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I think I used to put videos on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
And, I'd probably be pretty upset if I found it.
Early on, you said you were about 14 or so when you learned to play guitar. When did you start actually writing out songs and stuff?
Almost immediately. I think I was trying to write songs as soon as I knew like the first few chords.
Okay.
And I don't know if I was just stubborn and lazy to learn other people's music, or maybe just that arrogant. I don't know. Okay, it's the chord. I want to write my own words, and like I remember almost instantly wanting to come up with something from scratch.
Okay.
So probably the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that around the same time you kind of decided that you wanted to pursue music?
I was like flirting with the idea of it, right? And it's funny because it's like, in a way for me, it was like getting into the family business, right? So
Right.
seeing my dad do it for so long, I knew it was hard work, but I knew you could do it. So I was like, yeah, if nothing else works, that's what I'm going to do, kind of thing. It's just the same way, any other kid seeing his parents do something would be like, either swayed to do it or definitely to stay away from it. It's to either
Right.
go one way or the other. And I
Uh-huh.
think when I was really young, I was like into hockey, and I thought I was going to be some kind of athlete, but not realistic. And
Yeah, it's big up there, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's bigger than up.
Oh,
down here.
absolutely. And so I eventually, completely dove into music, and
What was your inspiration for like your first few songs? Was it a
jeez.
love interest?
Probably. Realistically, I could try and make something up, but it's probably like the majority of people.
Yeah.
Can't remember specifically, but yeah, I'm gonna say that.
When you first started out, do you remember playing your first show?
I remember the first time like singing and playing guitar in front of more than a few people. I think it was a talent show.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
I remember playing guitar for my 8th grade teacher, Miss McCormick, who was leaving. So I would have been 14 years old, and I played like out of a little orange toy amplifier. It was pretty much like
nice.
it was like they're like
The like little
practice
small ones.
amp. Yeah. Said orange on it though. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
And
Oranges
Those are
are
cool.
great.
I put that in the that's how small our school gym was. That little thing was loud enough
Oh, that's
to
awesome.
project. And I think I played Pretty Woman for Miss McCormick when she was leaving,
Oh, that's awesome.
retiring. And that was the first time. But there was no singing. I think the whole class sang or something like that. And then the next year, in grade 9, so that's freshman, right?
Yeah.
Over
Here, it's freshman.
9th grade. I performed Blackbird by the Beatles at a
wow.
talent show, and that was the first time I think I sang and played guitar and in front
Where
of.
was that at?
That was at my high school.
High school.
Oh,
It's
cool.
called Cardinal Carter Secondary School. Yeah.
Oh, so another talent show or just like,
Yeah, it was just like
Yeah.
they did monthly talent shows.
That's cool.
My teacher, Mr. Momany, would put them on, and it was really a lot of fun. And there was like you could win money.
Oh, wow.
I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't think I won that time, but
really, even for Blackbird too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice because that seems like it would be a difficult song to
I was
sing.
yeah, definitely.
it's
I mean,
got,
to
like,
do
the
it
finger
properly.
picking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I doubt I was doing it the right way, but I hope it's better now. I don't know.
Do you still cover that song?
I haven't in a long time. Probably
Okay.
since I was playing bars around town. But yeah, it's been a while. Still one of my favorite songs ever.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love that song. So how did you tell us about how you ended up getting signed to Interscope Records and how that whole process kind of
So it was like a
for you?
progression south, I guess.
Yeah.
So I left from Leamington and from Windsor. I moved down to Nashville after meeting a manager from Nashville named Ken Levitan.
And you met him in Canada?
And I met him through a family friend who is a songwriter and a guitar player, a great songwriter, great guitar player, and a great family friend from Michigan who sent like a video of me singing to my manager and my now manager, and kind of like
hooked you guys up.
kind of like not gave me an audition, but in a way, kind of an
Yeah.
audition. And he's down in Nashville, so my father and I drove down to Nashville. This is like 6 years ago now, almost. Yeah, and I just like went in his office. We were about this far away from each other, and I just sang everything that I had ever written, which was, I don't know, either a really good idea or a really bad idea. But felt like I played for 45 minutes or something.
Did a whole set.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he kind of took me on, and him and Ken and Kevin Spellman, Vector Management, they took me on and kind of took a chance on me, and I was obviously on cloud nine, and I moved down to Nashville like only a few months later, and spent about a year in Nashville before I met Aaron Bayshuk and Kevin Williamson from Interscope Records, and then that's like 4 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
That I've been with Interscope, and
Did they move you to LA?
no, but I've spent a whole bunch of time recording and writing in Los Angeles. Yeah, could have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been an incredible journey so far, and it's still, even though it's been a while, it still feels like it's just getting started.
So you, when you first moved down to Nashville and you got picked up by the management,
Yeah.
were you just playing out all the time down in Nashville, or how did?
So I wasn't. It was funny. I was playing out a whole bunch when I was in Windsor and
Okay.
up in Canada, and then when I came down to Nashville, it was like the opposite. It was like no more playing out. It was just working on the songwriting and working on the music. Yeah, in the studio and at home, and just really just working on the writing in general. And yeah, that was really weird to me, and it was tough to tell my family and friends, because when they thought I was going down to Nashville, they assumed I'd be in a bar on Broadway every night playing.
Right.
Aw.
Yeah,
playing
that's kind of
music.
what I thought.
And turns out the only time I ever play in Nashville is when tour rolls through Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But I've been lucky and fortunate to play. Like, there's so many incredible venues and legendary stages there. I've been very lucky to get on them. So
Nice. When did you go on your first like kind of big tour then? Was that after Interscope, or did you do some
I
touring
think it was
prior?
just before or simultaneous. No, it was before. It was before Interscope, and it was it was incredible. My management was able to get me these opportunities to play for these people without having any music out yet. I think I toured for, this is going back to 2015, so I toured for 2.5 years before actually putting out a first song.
Oh, wow.
Which is a funny thing, because I even if the people in the audience liked what they heard, there was no way they were going to
Yeah, you didn't have anything
unless
else.
they
I was
were
gonna ask
doing
you didn't have anything
recording
to
it on their
sell
phones.
them,
It was
or-
very bad. It was great for me
Yeah,
to get to
right. You got your name out there.
Yeah,
you
and
got
cut your
Practice.
teeth and
cut your
like
teeth, yeah, exactly.
so I've been performing for a few years, like touring, obviously in bars before that, but proper touring for that. My first tour was supporting John Hyatt, which was just crazy, because he's like
Yeah.
legendary, the singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
like one of the greatest singer-songwriters, and I had no business being on that tour, but I'm very, very grateful.
You have an amazing
Yeah,
voice.
I was gonna say
Thank you.
your
so
songs
much.
are really
I,
incredible.
I appreciate that, but yeah, that was very. And then after that, it was like I met the record label, and then still no music out. I got to support Jeff Beck.
Oh wow.
It's like,
That's awesome.
and I call my dad, and he's like, "What the?"
Did he come along with you to some of the shows?
He came and saw when I opened for Jeff Beck at the State Theater in Royal Oak, Michigan.
Wow.
Michigan
wow.
State Theater, and he and my whole family showed up for that one.
Oh.
That's cool.
Again, it's like no music out, and I got to do half an hour, 45 minutes solo acoustic before Jeff Beck. Like what?
And those were just songs that you wrote yourself
Yeah.
and hadn't recorded yet.
Yeah, some of them were in the process of being recorded, but nothing was released.
That's cool. So you
man.
can see like the audience reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
and-
I guess
Yeah.
in that sense, it was good. It was like constructive for sure.
And so when you did those tours, were you touring by yourself? I mean, did you have a crew
So,
with you? How did that
again,
work?
like those first two, I was spoiled, rotten. I got to join them on their buses,
Oh wow!
and it was just me. And I used, I had no,
You just had your
no one
guitar
selling
and
merch
you.
or no one selling, there's no merch because there's nothing to sell.
Yeah.
There's like 3 T-shirts, and my family made them custom for themselves to wear to
Oh,
the,
that's
wear to
so
the shows.
That's awesome.
I think I handed out my like website on pieces of paper after the shows, so it was very no overhead at all.
That's so cool.
And I just used the house sound guy every night, or I think on John Hyatt's tour, his sound guy would mix for me, which was pretty cool.
Aw.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and then the next tour after that was equally as incredible. I got to it was because it was so extensive. I got to go and support Missy Higgins
Wow.
from Australia.
Yeah.
She came over for her first tour in like many years, and she pretty much, I think she showed me America more than the previous two because it was such a long tour. It was like
Oh.
a couple months, and we
So you-
started in Brooklyn and
Hit all the major cities.
all the major cities and came down, and I don't think we came down to San Diego, but we did play in
Los Angeles, I'm sure.
no, we played Belly Up,
Oh, yeah,
nice,
Solana Beach.
yeah.
That's
Solana
San
Beach.
Di-
So
yeah,
pretty
it's
much
here.
North
yeah,
County.
yeah.
That's still San Diego
It's
County.
San
Yeah,
Diego,
it's just
okay.
north of us a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh no, no, yeah.
No, it's
How do you not
fancy
know
up
all
there.
these?
Yeah, no, but it was such a
Neighborhoods in
cool.
San
It was
Diego.
such a cool room, and I heard the history of it and all
Yeah,
that. So.
the belly up is really,
Yeah.
There.
really legendary.
Yeah, so I mean, and that still is going back like 4 or 5 years ago. So, so grateful for her. She was so much fun to be around and be on tour with. And that one, there was no bus. I was with my buddy Garrett in a Jeep.
Oh.
So we took the Jeep.
And just
Did
follow
you
them.
sleep in it
across
every
the
night?
country.
Or?
No, we got hotels, but
Oh.
it was that all of that was cart way ahead of the horse. Like just but
cool.
it definitely taught me a lot, and yeah, we got to see the whole country for the first time, and then done it a whole bunch since then.
Yeah.
How'd you connect with did your manager put you in touch?
Yeah, my manager and my agent, and they're just amazing. I don't know. I
That's
don't know
so
what else
cool.
to say.
Yeah.
Just,
When you signed to Interscope, then were they the only? Did you know you were going to sign with them, or were there other labels
There was definitely like a
interest?
like
Bidding
an
war.
auditioning process.
Oh, okay.
Like where I got to meet with so many, and yeah, I was very, again, I must say spoiled a whole bunch, but very fortunate, and lucky, and grateful that I got to choose where I wanted to go, and
Yeah.
it with what felt right, and it was awesome. Yeah,
You work with Julia Michaels too.
a whole bunch. Yeah, it wouldn't have been long after that tour with Missy Higgins that I would meet her, and
And how did that all kind of happen? Same thing.
I think through. I ended up working with Katie Vinton, who's incredible publisher, and she was telling me about this girl, Julia, who is insanely talented. I need to get in a room and work with her as soon as
Yeah.
possible. I was like, okay. And she's like, okay, how about tomorrow? And I was like, okay, tomorrow. Yeah, we wrote a song the next day.
I
And-
love
Wow.
that song, that I'm Not a Saint.
Yeah, and it was the first song from the first EP.
It's so good.
So yeah, I could spend the whole podcast talking about how talented she is. She's incredible, and we've gotten to write a whole bunch of songs since and tour together.
Oh, you toured with her?
Yeah,
as well?
we did some shows in April, so it was a lot of
Wow.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible, and so are you. Like,
You know,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. No, I'm in very good company, and yeah, it's just been an absolute honor and pleasure to be able to work with some of the people I've been able to work with.
Yeah.
How'd you connect with Parachute for this tour?
So I don't exactly know who or what put who in touch with who, but I got a call and it was like, hey, do you want to go? My manager was like, you want to go on tour with Parachute? And I was like, absolutely. And then he sent me all the cities and the dates and the things. And I was like, fuck.
You can
Like,
cuss.
absolutely, yeah. I totally want to. And a lot of the rooms, like the House of Blues tonight, we've been able to play before. So a lot of these places on this tour, I've supported other acts at. So it's so cool to be able to come back to some of the same cities, same venues,
Yeah.
same crews, same people working places. It's a lot of fun. But this tour has been a dream so far.
So you sing a lot of like love songs too, which I just love.
Yeah, it's like I grew up on the Beatles, so it's like
Yeah.
Paul McCartney and John Lennon, like everything was a love song.
Yeah, exactly. Lover song or political song.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about, so Driver, is this the song that you wrote about the hitchhiker?
Yes, exactly.
Can you tell us that story? Like, that fascinates me.
It was a a night on Pelee Island, which is
it's in the middle of Lake Erie,
middle of
right?
Lake Erie.
So I have family from Ohio, from Cleveland area.
Okay, great. You can.
So there's like I didn't realize how many islands there are
Absolutely,
in the middle of the Lake Erie there, because they go to one. I can't remember. It's it's basically just like a little island that there's like a couple hotels and like some bars on that people like kind of go out to.
Take their speedboats out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's about an hour and a half ferry ride from Leamington, where I'm from. And we were over there. My dad will play that. My dad will play a tavern there once every July.
Okay, so it's similar to what I forgot
Exactly.
the place was called, but it's just like there's those little islands out there that have little bars and stuff
And
set up.
he one year we were over there, and I was with my girlfriend and her family, and we were leaving the bar after my dad had played, and there's this guy just messed up on the side of the road. We gave him a lift, and his phone was dead, and all this, and it wasn't sentimental at all. It wasn't like, oh, this is such a life-changing experience, I need to write about it.
Yeah.
It was actually hilarious. He was so funny. He was fine. He ended up being fine, so like, you can laugh about it now. But I don't know. I was writing a whole bunch at the time, and I guess I was either running out of inspiration or what it was. But I don't know. I was in Los Angeles with Simon Wilcox and Nolan Ambrosa, and was telling them the story as a joke. I think I was telling him as like it was a funny night, and we ended up just writing a song and taking it a way more serious direction, some kind of metaphor for being like lost in life and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how that came about.
That's fascinating. That because people nowadays picking up a hitchhiker, like, really? That's
it's kind of a thing that I feel like used to happen way more back then.
Right, yeah. Now it's kind of like, wait, what'd you do? Like, that's when I read that, I was shocked.
No, yeah. If you were on the island with us, you'd understand. And it was like everyone knew everybody, kind of. Well, I don't know. We didn't know this guy, but like,
it was fairly safe
to
pick somebody up.
Safe. It's also like 20 of us in a pickup truck, like 10 people on the back of a bed of a pickup truck.
You guys could dominate.
Pick them up. Oh, that's funny.
Do you have any future plans?
Absolutely. We're going to be touring the rest of this year. We got still a few weeks with Parachute left, and then we're going to be announcing some more tours that probably not supposed to announce, so I'm not going to say what we're doing, but I know that we're going to be touring the rest of the calendar year, and then releasing a lot more music, and eventually my first album, which I've got a few EPs out now and a bunch of different singles, so it seems like there's enough for an album out there already, but the actual first album's coming soon. So
is it cool? Yeah, we're excited because I was going to ask you about that. So you have a full length coming soon. Very, very cool.
Totally.
Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Just kind of throw yourself completely into it, I guess. I'm not saying I I don't even know if I'm the right person to ask for advice, but I just know that if it's what you really want to do and you believe in yourself and you just kind of don't have a backup plan and just completely give every second to it if you can. And always have fun, because, if you're not actually enjoying it, then you're not going to want to do it for the rest of your life. And I've been, learned watching my dad that it is hard work. It really is, it's, but he doesn't take it for granted. And the great times are make everything worth it,
Yeah.
It's very fulfilling.